Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pratibha College of Commerce and Computer Studies, in association with Faculty of Arts and Humanities and Department of English, has designed and developed an add-on course on Write, WRITE, Write. I'm Dr. Roopa Shah. My colleagues, Professor Madhura, Professor Chandrakant, and Professor Anuradha will speak about importance of types of writing in the lectures next to me. So let's start with Write. The first component of writing is technical writing. The second is creative writing. The third is business writing. And the fourth is content writing. So let's start with technical writing. I would like to share my PPT. As I have started with the introduction of Write and add-on course skill enhancement course. It is designed by Arts and Humanities Department of English. I would like to start with the main subtopics of this course. There are 4 main subtopics. They are technical writing, content writing, business writing, and creative writing. What is technical writing and why it is so important in this modern era? It is nothing but a particular writing about a particular subject that requires direction, instruction, or explanation. Many times we are not able to understand, we are not able to get to the technical points and technicality of some subject, and at that time we need explanation, we need instructions and directions, and technical writing is all about it. Technical writing is a kind of writing where authors write about a particular subject, okay, where there is an explanation. The style of writing is totally different from the casual writing or whatever we have learnt in our school and college days. It is a different and typically different kind of writing. It has got different characteristics than other styles of writing. Creative writing, we know it very well in poems, in fiction, it is found. Academic writing is totally different and business writing is different. But this technical writing is altogether different. What are the goals of technical writing? Technical writing is something that communicates with specific audience and for specific purpose. Some technical information is given to the readers in the manner that is adapted to their needs, to their level of understanding and understanding the background of the readers. To explain and instruct a particular subject in easy and straightforward manner. Technical writing is to explain something in an efficient and clear way to everyone. So when do we use this technical writing? Where we find this technical writing? We find technical writing in instruction manuals. All of you know that there are some instruction manual for some of the gadgets. Okay, how to run these gadgets, how to use these gadgets. For that, instruction manuals are given to us and they are written in simple language so that everyone, a layman, can understand that. Then there are policy manuals for various terms and conditions. Process manuals are there, user manuals are there, and they are all user friendly. It should be written in user-friendly manner. Then reports of analysis are there. There are some reports, there are some analytical reports that has to be there, and that should be written in such a way that anyone can read it and anyone can understand it. There are some instructions for assembling a product, whether it is a product for children or it is a product for adults. But there are some instructions which are given for the assembling of that product. And the last one is the summarization of longer reports that highlights and shortens the most important elements. That means there are some long winding sentences, there are some technical words that we don't understand, they are called jargons. Such jargons are simplified in this technical writing so that everyone from other fields also will be able to understand what is that and how it functions. So we use this technical writing in these different manuals, analysis and reports. There are few features of this technical writing. The purpose of technical writing is to understand what is written in that manual. It makes it very simple, and it is the purpose of it is to make everyone understand the purpose of writing. Is it to inform? Is it to instruct? Is it to propose? Is it to recommend or to persuade? Yes, it is for everything that is written over here. It is to inform. Yes, it is to inform because there is some information that is catered in simple way to inform to the layman. It is to instruct. Yes, there are instructions. A person who is going to do it, the instructions are given and accordingly the things are done. Okay, even if you take a simple pouch of shampoo, a sachet of shampoo, the instructions are given on the back of it. And these instructions are written in very simple manner. Okay, we understand it quickly. That is technical writing. To propose, yes, to propose is one of the functions, and to recommend something through it is also the feature. To persuade few things, it is essential, and if we don't understand what to do and what to persuade, people don't understand it many a times because of the jargons used over there, technical words used over there, and for that simplification is very, very important, and technical writing exactly does the same work. Technical writing is done to make people understand what they want people to do. There are few tips which are given for good technical writing. The first thing is know your audience. Who is the audience? What is their background? What do they need? Okay, primarily these three things are very important. Who is your audience? Whether your audience is highly educated or uneducated. What is the background of these people? Whether they are from elite class or not, whether they are having technical background or not, and what do they need? Exactly, what is their need? What they want from us? If we think about these three aspects, automatically a good technical writer can write according to the needs and fulfill the expectations of the readers. An expert in this field will understand certain abbreviations, acronyms and lingo that directly applies to such a field, which is called as jargon. If I am from medical background, There are certain words that the person in medical background only understand. There are few words from the technical background which only technical background persons will be able to understand. There are few words from literature, from the background of literature where doctors or engineers or the person from the technical background will not be able to understand. So that we have to understand our audience and we have to make these abbreviations, acronyms or jargons simple to make others understand. The novice will not understand in the same manner and therefore every detail must be explained and spelled out for them. Because there are some similar sounding words, there are some similar spelling words and we have to differentiate between them. It is a great task of the technical writer to make people understand, make readers understand what he is expecting. Understanding documents. The first thing for the technical writer is to understand documents. There are some specifications of the documents like genre or type of document, whether it is a drama or a poem or it is a manual, it is the instruction manual or something. First of all, we should be able to understand for what we are writing. Okay, technical writing is done for what kind of genre or specification. Then what is the document type? What is its background? Whether it is from the medical background or the technical background or some other background, or and accordingly we have to understand, we have to find out the meaning of those jargons and then simplify it and make others understand, make readers understand the things. How about the required format? The third question. What is the format which will be really appealing to the readers? There are different formats. We can write in different formats, but the easiest and simplest form we have to use, or format we have to use. Now there are different styles of writing. Generally, impersonal style should be used. That means a third person perspective. Like I'm a teacher, I'm talking to the students, I'm talking in third person. Okay, we should not be very subjective about that topic. We have to provide the information which is accurate, information which is true and clear. We should not be judgmental. Our technical writing or technical document should not give any opinion, give our own opinion to the audience. There is no room for ambiguity. Everything should be very clear, very much straightforward. There should not be any ambiguity. There should not be any word that is used to make people confuse. Okay, there should not be confusion. There should be no ambiguity. There should be it should be straightforward and it should be very clear document. Now, for that clarity, what is most important? Choice of words. Using efficient words, proper words at proper place, using appropriate writing style and right punctuation marks. We have to be very careful about typing mistakes, sentences in conversational tone and punctuation problems. All of you know the great example where somebody used to write, a woman without her man is incomplete, where a woman goes and puts only two, comma, a woman, comma, without her, comma, men are incomplete. So this is something, is a power of punctuation. I would like to also give one more example that whenever we write SMS, we don't use appropriate words, we don't use appropriate and standard words. We generally use something, some abbreviations and some very rustic language which we should not use. Okay? So appropriate words, appropriate writing style, no SMS language, okay, and no informal language. It should be very formal with punctuation and with good construction, with good sentence structure. Here are some examples. Okay, we generally use efficient words. We generally use inefficient words, but we have to use some efficient words instead of them. Okay, there are some people who want to follow Shashi Tharoor and they use big and verbose language. They use ornamental words which should not be used because it makes our sentence ambiguous and we will not be able to get the real meaning of it. Here are some of the words. Commence. Commence means start. Endeavor means try. A large number of is many. Instead of using those long winding words and sentences, we can use smaller words. Okay, made a selection. Instead of that, we have to use just a simple word selected. We generally use present perfect tense or present perfect continuous. And we always feel that using difficult language means showing talent. It is not so. Use simple language. It is very easy to understand and it reaches to the masses. So we have to use it. Know how to research. What to research, why to research, how to go ahead about it. We have to gather information from a number of sources. See, students, we are not born, we are not born intelligent. We have to try ourselves, we have to rehearse, we have to give many efforts to sharpen our intelligence and to make ourselves more knowledgeable. Yes, we do have so many things with us, but we are not aware of them. And we can be aware by studies, we can be aware by making ourselves more studious. So, whenever there is a time to write anything in technical writing, the first thing in it comes of finding out the sources. What sources we have to find out? If you are writing something from the technical background and you don't have that technical, you don't have the knowledge of that technical word, at that time you have to gather information from number of sources, then understand that information, why I am writing this, what is the motto of writing this technical writing and what I want all of them to understand. You have to analyze it thoroughly, what you are going to write and what you are going to give, because under your instructions only these people are going to perform. Then put that information into an easy form to understand and then instruct these readers to read it in the way that you are putting it in a sequence, in a logical sequence. The more experienced your audience is, the more information you will need to gather and explain. For example, you want to give an instruction model to the engineers or to the doctors. I mean, the workers are not going to use it, but the doctors and highly educated people are going to use that manual. At that time, you have to use some important words which these people can understand easily and perform their functions accordingly. Okay, if your audience is a layman, a person who is average, okay, for example, you are writing an instruction manual for mobile phones. Now mobile phones are used everywhere and by everyone. So how to use them? The information should be user friendly. The words should be used that will be understood by everyone, every other person, and it will solve your problem. It will make them understand the things and they will go ahead with using it without any hurdle. So your technical writing essentially should make them understand what they want to do. Alright. Now I would like to go for effective technical writing. In effective technical writing there are few components. What are those components? There are components like clarity, conciseness, accuracy, organization and process. These five things make any writing a very effective kind of writing. Now see, we are going to see one by one each component. Clarity. Clarity includes specifying the topic, okay, specifying the information which is required, avoiding obscure words, okay, which are not related. We should avoid that. We have to limit and define abbreviations, acronyms and jargons. So it should be written in the language of layman. Use the active versus the passive voice. Active voice is preferable to passive voice. Passive voice makes the sentence unnecessarily complicated, which we should not do. We should always be very straightforward. We should not be judgmental. This all includes in clarity. Next comes conciseness. What is that? We have to keep the information very short. Limit your paragraph, words and sentence length. Use smaller sentences. Don't go for long winding sentences. It is otherwise confusing. Before you put that information, proofread for accuracy. Proofreading is more important. Sometimes there is typo mistake. Sometimes we are not able to write a spelling really well. Or sometimes we don't understand and write something by mistake. And that's why proofreading is very, very important. The third one is avoid redundancies. Many times we use many words of the same meaning. Avoid that. Redundancy means using 2-3 words of the same meaning, which is not at all advisable. You have to avoid redundancies. You have to be very crisp and clear and concise when you write something technically rich. Okay, you have to have very much crisp and nice report. Students, we are writing technical paragraphs, we are writing technical reports, we are not writing other than technical things like fiction or some creative writing, where there is a great scope of writing something on your own. But here, everything should be very much accurate. Accuracy is the next component which is very, very important. The importance of correct grammar, as I told you earlier about the punctuation and about the words and abbreviations. Here we are going to see something more about the importance of correct grammar and using proper words. Now, as we don't understand many a times that we should not use some words, they are not wrong, but they are not appropriate. I don't say correct, I say appropriate. They're not wrong, but they are not appropriate. Here are some examples. Very old. Instead of this word, we can say vulnerable, very open, instead of that transparent, very painful, here excruciating, very perfect, flawless, very rich, wealthy. And you know, these words we have used, we have read, we have studied earlier in our books, in our syllabus. But we always go with very, very short, very sharp, very serious. But instead of that, if we could say brief, keen, grave, chilling, or sorrowful, healthy, wealthy, fast, beautiful, these words are more appropriate and such words should be used. Now, how will you be able to use these words? By practice and by study. The next component is organization. Organization of that writing. Now, what is the method of organizing? The first thing is definition. You have to speak about the definition of the topic that you have chosen. Then compare and contrast it with some other similar kind of component. Then more important and to less important. Now, there are few things that you have to speak first of all. You have to write first of all, which are more important, and then go towards less important things. That means its effects and effects on human mind or human body. If you want to write about that, you have to first of all write about the more important things and then go towards less important. Then you have to explain the situations. Then problem and solution. This kind of projection should be there, and then evaluation. After that, cause and effect. This is something that is the method of organizing your information. If your information is totally different than that, if you have to use the pictures and explain the things, you can do that. But again, there should be very clear words. Use of words should be proper, appropriate, and it should be very simple, smaller sentences. But generally, the method of organizing is definition, comparison or contrast, more important to less important, then situation, problem solution, evaluation and cause and effect. What is the process? Process is done in 3 steps. The first thing is pre-writing. Pre-writing is something that you have to rehearse writing the things. You have to practice writing it. You can do it for 25% of your, you can use 25% of your time in it. Okay. If you have designed it for 1 hour, you can use 25% of time in pre-writing it. Then write it actually. Okay, again 25% of time you have to write whatever you want to write about that product, about that manual, whatever the thing is, whatever the topic is. Then read it again. It is read it again and then rewrite it. There you know we have got many ideas, many things, and we write in that flow. But then in second reading, we will be able to understand what is to remove and what is to add. And so rewrite it. Here, this is the last step where you have to use almost 50% of your time. Okay, this is something that is very important. Generally, what do? We generally have that notion in our mind that I am a good writer, I write once and that's all. Students, we are not Shakespeare who used to write once and then he didn't even look at it and it was published in such a way that now people always think that the person was the dramatist of the millennium. Yes, but we have to do it technically. He was writing fiction. We are writing technical topic. We are writing on technical topic, and for that we should be able to write. WRITE, RIGHT. And for that, these 3 steps are very important. First of all, in pre-writing, you have to study it, you have to get the material from different sources, you have to understand it, you have to pre-write it with all these things keeping in your mind. You have to pre-write it. You should devote your 25% of time of writing in it. Read it. Again, you have to write something that you really want to write about it. Okay? Again 25% because you write it in that flow. You have got so many ideas to put in that flow and you have to write it. And then again read it. You will feel that it is a very lengthy process, but for perfection you have to go through such lengthy processes. And then after reading it, we do understand that in the feat of writing, we have written so many things which are not necessary. We have written so many things which are repeated. There are redundancies. There are so many useless things that we have written. And then you go for rewriting. And you have to use most of the time in your rewriting. You have to write it perfectly. As I told you, that sometimes you can write it in paragraph, sometimes you can write it point-wise, sometimes you can put the pictures and explain. Okay, explain means you have to just write a line down to that, to explaining the picture. Okay, there are various ways. There is flow chart, there is a family tree, there are so many other things that you have to do to make people understand what is that product, what is that topic. Okay, there are different ways for explanation, there are different ways for putting it in a technically correct manner. Okay, and for that, the first thing, you should be studious, you should use proper words to understand it. Okay, I hope that all of you have understood what is technical writing, what are the components of technical writing and all. I would like to take you back to the first slide. We are going to have a short journey of whatever we have learned till now. As you know that this is a course of Write Right, and we 4 colleagues are going to speak about different types of different subtopics of this course. I'm talking about technical writing, content writing, business writing and creative writing will be spoken and will be explained by my colleagues. I have explained you about technical writing, what is technical writing, its importance, what are the goals of technical writing. Then few examples when we come across in our life with this technical writing, and they are everywhere around us. There are instruction manuals, policy manuals, process manuals, user manuals, reports of analysis, instructions, etc. Then we have seen some features. Why should we write this technical analysis or technical writing is used to inform, to instruct, to propose, to recommend and to persuade. There are few tips that we have studied about good technical writing. To know your audience, who is the audience, what is their background and what do they need. We have to study all those things and then go ahead with that. Then understanding documents. What are the documents which are necessary for technical writing? There it's genre, document type and required format. We have to decide all those things beforehand and then we have to go ahead thinking all those things, and it's not an easy task to do. There are different styles of writing, but we have to choose one style which is the third person perspective, which is very important and which is used everywhere. It will avoid the confusion. Then we have to provide the accurate information, but we should not be judgmental. We should not impose our opinions on the audience. We have to express our information very clearly and there should not be ambiguity. Then we have thought about choice of proper words at proper place and proper time, appropriate writing style, no typo mistakes, proper sentence structure, tone and punctuation marks. Then we have to research about the things. It is very important to gather information from different sources, analyze it, make it in the format that everyone should understand, and then put it in front of your audience. Then there are few things which are very important for effective technical writing, that is clarity, conciseness, accuracy, organization and process. And we have taken a very detailed look into it. Clarity includes specification, avoiding obscure words, defining the use of abbreviations if we are using, but avoiding jargons and acronyms. Okay, and use of active voice. Conciseness includes limited paragraph, proofreading, and avoiding redundancies. Accuracy includes accurate, grammatically correct sentences and use of appropriate words and proper words. And the organization tells us about the methods of organizing, how to go ahead with the method, general method. I have only explained general method, but you have to go ahead with the actually there are different kinds of methods. You can go with any other method, but this is a general method that is given over here. Then the process of writing. Technical writing is not very simple thing to write. Whatever comes to your mind and you have delivered, it's not done. So what is important here? You have to go through a process. There are 3 steps: pre-writing, writing and rewriting. In pre-writing, we have to give 25% of our time where we have to research, we have to gather information, we have to set the structure of how to write the technical information, and then write it in a flow when it comes to you. Again, 25% of your time should be given, but when we read it again, we will be able to understand where it goes wrong or what is the things which are not appropriate, what is excess, what should be reduced and all. And then rewriting takes most of our time, where we have to write in a perfect manner where people do understand what we want to say and do understand about the product. To end my presentation, I would like to I would like to read a quote. A good technical writer can make a difficult task easy and can quickly explain a complex piece of information. All the best for journey of being a good technical writer. Thank you very much.